feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Go. Yeah, what's up? It's Pastor Keenan, your hostess with the mostest, back with another episode of People Suck, Love Them Anyways, man. And I tell you what, I'm always joined by my sidekick, Nick. Nick, drop a line for me, man. Tell me how you doing, how you living, how things going your way.
Yeah, living my best life, you know. Hey, I picked up. Hey, for everybody listening, I picked up a book the other day called The Energy Bus.
The Energy Bus,
you know, right? Yeah,
you've not read a page yet.
Yeah, I've read half of it. I've read half of it.
Your energy comes at the end of the book, then, right?
Yeah. I got to get through. I'm only through like 5 out of 10 tips on how to be more energetic. So we'll get there. You know,
well, give me one tip. Give me one tip that you've read, then, man. What's one tip to have more energy?
See, you done got me. I couldn't remember them now.
Oh,
you throw me under the energy bus.
Yeah, there you go, man.
I'm like sitting here trying to think of them, but we'll see. I'll throw one in if I can think of it.
Tip 1 from PKR is this: be the energy you want to see. Woo! Man, I need to write a book. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe one day.
I know, right? Be the energy you want to see. That's a good tip, I feel like. But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of People Suck, Love Them Anyways, where, you know, we are always talking about world events, current events, everything that's going on. We always try to put a biblical spin up on it, try to put some scripture with it as well. And, you know, just throw in our opinions, our 2 cents as well. And you know, just kind of hang out and see what's going on. So hopefully back next week we'll have a guest with us. It's just me and Nick again tonight, so hopefully...
we lied to you last week.
I was going to say, yeah, we lied to you last week just a little bit. Forgive us, people suck, like we always say, but, you know, hopefully we'll have somebody...
We are people.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll have somebody back with us next week. So tonight, Nick is going to go ahead and throw down his news article, and, of course, I mean, last week we tackled politics and religion, 2 things that people never want to talk about. And this week, we're going to hit some stuff that, again, I think people never want to talk about. But here we are. And like I said, we'll wrap some scripture and some opinions in with it. But go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of people, if you've, again, primarily United States, but I believe this has some ramifications worldwide. But, you know, you've probably seen one of your favorite shopping places in the news lately. It probably won't be favorite after this, but I'm just kidding. So basically tonight we're going to be talking about the whole debacle surrounding Target.
Target.
If you want to be fancy. So this news article, you know, that I kind of pulled here just kind of stood out to me. It was from, I think, the beginning of this week, maybe this last weekend. But this is from the Washington Examiner. Now, the title of this article stood out to me, and you'll know why. It said, Target Pride Month partner boasts about Satanism. And this is a quote from the partner. It says, Satan respects pronouns.
Okay.
All right, So
it says partner with Target?
Yes. So it was a designer that basically created things for Target to sell.
All right. I'm with you now.
Is kind of what I'm getting here.
Okay.
So it says the designer behind one of Target's brand partnerships for Pride Month was revealed to have an affinity for Satanism. I have no idea how to say this. Abralin, I probably butchered that, but it's fine. A brand out of the United Kingdom, hey, worldwide.
It is worldwide, okay.
And headed by a self-proclaimed gay transgender man known as Eric, has had a collaboration in the works with Target for roughly a year now. So if you've been in Target anytime soon, you know, you may have seen some of this stuff kind of hanging around, you know, in different sections throughout the store.
I've seen it on TikTok.
Yep, I've seen it on TikTok. People throwing a fit about it on TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Right.
People be talking about it quite a bit, you know, throwing quite a bit of a fit about it now. I'd say that this kind of adds another layer to it, is considering that the designer is a supporter of Satanism.
Right.
You know, and I think, you know, this is a little bit more of a targeted, I'd say, article, you know, because they know who they're trying to reach. the people who are already upset about
I was going to say, who are they
Month
trying to make mad in this process?
Yeah, exactly. The people who are already upset are now just going to be more upset, you know,
Absolutely.
have more reason not to shop at Target.
Right.
Which is kind of the whole point of this episode here tonight, is trying to figure out this whole boycott situation.
Well, to me, man, like, first off, Target's expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I call it the bougie Walmart. I mean, for real.
You get dressed up to go to Target when you wear your pajamas.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. So, you know, that's number one. But like you said, number two, man, this whole boycott situation, like, there's a lot of things that's being boycotted these days. I mean, we go with Target. We talked about Ford. We talked about Bud Light. We talked about, there's people that's wanting to be bold with their advertising or wanting to be bold with their statements or whatever. And, I think that's something that is great about the United States of America is that we do have that freedom of speech, kinda. So in one regards, I mean, it's cool to be able to get out there and say what you want to say. I wish that it was equally across the board. I wish that, that it's like, I wish that people could be heard equally across the board, as far as their feelings and stuff like that. But the thing about it is that, everybody seems to me like to get worked up over one issue, right?
Oh yeah,
I mean, you pick and choose. But here's the thing: like people don't get worked up about it until it's mainstream.
Yeah, oh, that's not a big deal. I'll still go to Target, and then it's like, hey, you're not a real Christian if you go shopping at Target.
Right. Well, that's the thing, man. It's like what people have been shopping Target for years on top of years on top of years. I mean, I've done plenty. To me, I've done plenty of pickup orders from Target. Shout out to my wife who sends me to Target occasionally. Now, before you send me to hell, I've not had any pickup, orders since this whole situation.
Keenan is wearing a rainbow shirt right now.
Right? But that's my thing where it's like, people have been shopping Target for forever and a day. It's not like, to me, it's not like Target's values or beliefs have changed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, CEOs may have changed, marketing strategies may have changed,
but the underlying issue has always been there. Probably it's just the fact of that now it's become more publicized.
Yeah, and I'd say really like one of the biggest things that we were kind of discussing with this article and with this episode of the podcast is just trying to pinpoint, because like if you really dug deep into every company, every corporation that you shop at or you support, if you dug deep, or you looked at anything that they've put out before or said before that their CEOs have supported before, or whatever it may be, like if you really, if you wanted to boycott every company that supported or sided with this side or that side or said this or said that, like who would you be buying stuff from?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, we talked about tonight where you can see everything through light or you can see everything through darkness. Which one do you want to do? And whenever people get involved, we've said this time and time again, whenever people get involved, stuff gets screwed up. I mean, hashtag the garden, we'll take it all the way back to Genesis. But when people get involved, things get screwed up. That's just the way it is, because people start pushing their mentality, their preferences, whatever the case is. And so stuff gets messed up in that perspective. But I'm with you. Like, it doesn't matter what company, what group, do you think the most American-made, American-paid stuff, is, you think people are going into a factory setting or going into a work, setting every single day and getting treated like pure gold, where everything is going great and they're never talked down on, or they're never fussed at, and breaks are long and the food is good and the work atmosphere is great and the pay's competitive, and it's just not like that, because people are involved. And so I'm like you, if we're gonna boycott, where do we stop where do we start? I guess, but where do we stop? At that point, why are we not boycotting everything?
Yeah, right? I think and that's what's crazy. And I brought this point up because this is something that's always just been it's something I've noticed. I'll put it this way. We are this episode we're filming is probably our last episode in May. Maybe I can't remember how many. I don't know what. But anyway,
I'm trying to think.
It's getting pretty close to June, and that's kind of where I'm going at with this.
24.
June is typically, in the United States of America, seen as Gay Pride Month.
June is?
Yeah, I believe so.
I thought May was.
No.
Okay.
No. One thing that a lot of people may have noticed over the past several years is that whenever the calendar rolls over to June 1st and you get on social media, everybody's icons have a rainbow on it.
Right.
I remember, T-Mobile, they changed from pink or magenta, whatever they call it. They changed from that color to a rainbow flag. You see these major companies, major corporations jumping on the we support you boat.
Right.
And it gets me because here recently, as it's been a hot button issue, we've had the Bud Light situation.
Yeah.
Where everybody's boycotting Bud Light because they're supporting, this, that, or whatever. But I made the joke, I think, before we started recording. I was like,
Don't joke.
I'm going to joke.
Don't joke.
This guy over here, he's like, I ain't drinking Bud Light no more, but I ain't turning in the keys to my Jeep.
Right.
When Jeep makes a commercial with, a gay couple buying a Jeep,
right.
Are you going to sell your Jeep now?
Yeah. Because that's not what you believe
exactly.
in.
You don't believe in that. You don't support that, so you're going to sell your Jeep?
Right.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, right.
And so, that was the mentality, I guess, that I've kind of put into question here.
Here's a good question. When was the last time a major company or corporation supported a Christian movement?
That's a tough one, right
That
there.
is a tough one. I'm just asking, because again, I think it's important to see all angles of this. I feel like we've always had open conversations, open mindsets, and I think it's an opinion. Well, I mean, I think everybody has an opinion, but like when's the last time that Christians got play on a major time network or backing from a major platform? I think that's a great question. Or I guess maybe what could we say about does Christians have a month? I mean, what is it? Is it December because Jesus was born?
We get
supposedly,
a National Day of Prayer, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do have a National Day of Prayer, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, whenever we come down to it, it's like people, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I feel like people know us more by what we stand against versus what we stand for. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep. We're louder about what we're against.
Oh, absolutely. It's like if we truly, I feel like as Christians, if we truly stood up and we were like, I'm for this. Mm-hmm. I'm for this. I'm not against this. I'm for this. And it's like, so people, I feel like people know what we stand against for the most part. I really do.
Yeah, I believe Christian. I mean, I've said this before, like, if you are not a Christian, you know what Christians are against.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's ingrained in you in every part of society these days. We don't have to, we can make this episode of the podcast. We don't have to say, as a Christian, community, we don't have to say what we're for and what we're against or what side of the table we're on in whatever situation. Like the point, of this episode isn't to take a side necessarily, but to kind of to bring to light this just weird, I guess, walking the gray line.
I think it's a dynamic. I think it's a weird dynamic of picking and choosing what you're boycotting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it really boils down to, I feel like. And we talked about this before. It's like where we are louder about the things we don't struggle with. Mm-hmm. And so if we see somebody who is homosexual, or if we see somebody who is transgender or something like that, we tend to gravitate towards something like that because we don't struggle with that situation. We don't understand it. We don't struggle with it. And so therefore, we just come right off the bat. You're wrong. You're going to hell. You're this, you're that, you're the other. I don't stand for this. I don't support this. I don't want to be a part of this and everything else. And it's like, okay. But on the other hand, you're so loud and you're so proud about that. But on the other hand, there's stuff happening over here on the other side of the aisle that is just as much a struggle or a sin as what this side is. But you're really kind of silent about it. You're not posting about it. You're not boycotting it. You're not. I've seen so many people just throw up the deuces sign, buy Target, whatever. Okay, cool. I'm not shopping at Target, whatever. Like that. If that's your stance, that's fine. But
why make it public?
Well, I think that's part of it. It's like where people want to jump on a bandwagon, right? They want to be a part of a movement. They want to be a part of something like that. I think that's part of it. But also, it's like what else should you? First off, I guess what is your drive for boycotting? What is your drive for saying I'm not going back there? Is it the fact of that they're promoting stuff to kids? Is it the fact of that they've let a Satanist design clothes? Things like that. Like, what is your drive? What is your motivation behind it? And then after that, all right, let's say Nick, it's the Satanist. All right, it's all right. Well, they're letting an evil person produce clothes or design clothes for Target. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then let's go and let's look at other secular things in the world that people produce and do, and tell me how you're not already boycotting those. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think
if anything is not of God, it's of evil.
Right.
If they're, not founded on religious principles, I mean, like their company is founded upon the wrong things,
right?
And you're buying things from companies founded on the wrong things,
exactly. And so you're still buying things, and you're still doing things, and you're still. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's that. I call it a point of view, an opinion, whatever. But that's just kind of where I'm coming from. It's like where you're getting all hot and heavy over Target or over Ford or over Nike or
it's a big one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a huge one. I mean, I'm not buying Nike because of their because
Lil Nas X is a Satan shoes.
Well, yeah, Satan shoes, and then not only that, their work laws or whatever. I mean, they employ children. Yeah, they employ children and things like that. They work for cents and cents a day and things like that. And okay, that's great, but I mean, let's. We know that because it's been brought to our attention. The thing about it is that there's so many things that we still interject ourselves in every single day that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? There's still things that we. So here's the deal. Like I maybe let me break it down like this. We still go and eat at restaurants, right? What's the last restaurant you ate at?
Wendy's.
Wendy's. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
So Wendy's. Let's think about this. There's somebody somewhere, probably in Wendy's Corporation, somewhere in the world that is not a Christian.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? And not only that, they're probably not a Christian. They might be homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
They might be transgender. They might be addicted. They might be I don't know,
illegal.
They might be illegal. They might be committing adultery. They might be. My point is that there's going to be unholy people in corporations, no matter where they are. And here's the thing too. We don't know where their financials go to every year. Mm-hmm. We don't know what Wendy's supports. We don't see their giving. We don't see their financial statements, so we don't know. So honestly, it's like everybody was Target until they found out this was going on. Now it's, we're going to boycott Target. Well, kind of like going back to the Nike thing you were talking about. Like whenever, and I forgot it was Colin Kaepernick who kneeled, right?
Yep.
And Nike got behind him and stood behind him, and then people were burning their stuff out in the streets. I'm burning my Nike
$250 Nike.
I'm burning my Nike stuff. Now here's the thing about it: burn it if you want to. You know what I'm saying? But that's $250 you ain't going to get back either. Mm-hmm. Sell it. Do something, but burn it?
Like $250, you could sell that and give that money to a church.
Absolutely.
Give that money to a food pantry.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you there's a homeless person somewhere that would love a Colin Kaepernick jersey because they're freezing, Right. I mean, maybe they won't. I don't know. But, but that's just my thing. It's like, where do we take it? Where do we take it to extremes to, I guess, number one. Number two is, why aren't we that motivated about everything in life? I mean,
we'll post more about what we hate than what we love.
Right.
I think you even mentioned that earlier. And, it's just like we're much more, because we see it in the news a lot. The hate, the anger, the loud voices are the ones who get the most attention, the ones who get out there the most. And so, like if and this is my thing, if we were as vocal about Christ as we are about boycotting Target,
right?
How much more good could we do?
Well, that's right. That's it. I mean, like, it's just last week's episode. Like we talked about how Christians are known more by their political candidate versus their position with Jesus. It's the same way. Like, we've got people over here standing up. I'm not going back to Target. I'm not going back to Target. I'm not shopping this. I'm not doing that. I'm not posting that. I'm not, this, and this. But it's like at the same point in time, they'll not read their Bible. They'll miss church. They'll not tithe. They'll not trust God. They'll not do all of that stuff. But somehow boycotting Target has made them a better person. Mm-hmm. Hold up. That whole mentality of thinking that way is like, not. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. It's not comprehensible to me.
I'm doing my social media due diligence as a Christian.
Yes, absolutely. Like now, I want to join the bandwagon. Now everybody sees me. I'm popular with everybody, but I'm still not going to serve God the way that I'm supposed to be serving God.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and I made this comparison earlier before the episode. I was like, said, we use Facebook like an I voted sticker.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
It's just like,
who's jumping on? Yeah,
right.
who's jumped on that bandwagon?
Look at me. We'll remember when we used to change our profile pictures to different flags whenever they had a a tragedy, or I had my shot, when COVID happened.
Right,
and these things that we put it out there, like, look at me, I'm part of this. I'm part of you. You know, I did my due diligence. This is what I stand for. This is what I stand against.
Right.
And we are doing that. But again, like I just said, why aren't we more vocal? If we're a Christian and we're going to be vocal about what we're against, why are we not vocal about what we're for?
Well, I agree with that, but I don't know, man. I think it also just like I said, it goes back to the point of, I think we need to be consistent across the board.
Yeah, because how many people were like, I'm never shopping at Starbucks again, and then I saw them, three months later shopping at Starbucks again.
And I think that goes back to what we said. Like, if we truly knew the intentions, the process, if we truly knew every person that worked for that company, if we followed money trails as to what that company supported and what they did, like, if we were truly going to do all of that and do our due diligence in it, we would find that probably 90% of the stuff that we support, do, buy, wear, go, everything else, like, that we wouldn't be doing anymore. You know what I'm saying? That we wouldn't be doing. But here's the thing. Are we as Christians willing to give up the lifestyle that we're living to go and support the faith that we believe in? That's the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the deal. Are we willing to do that? Like, I'm looking at myself right now, man. I got on a pair of Old Navy blue jeans. I'm dressing down tonight. G-Shock watch. I'm trying to just look at some things. iPhone. All right, so most of the stuff I said wasn't even really that big. So iPhone. You know what I'm saying? How many people have an iPhone in the world? No, there's no telling. There's no telling. So
when Apple changes their logo next month, are you going to give up your iPhone?
Are you going to give it? Are you going to stop supporting? If Apple says we're going to donate $25 million to something that you don't agree with, are you trading in your iPhone? You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely.
Are you going to do that? Are you going to trade in? Are you that's the point where I'm getting at. Like, where you're looking at this and going, well, I'm not shopping this, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing, and all of that good stuff and whatever. But here's the thing about it, like, you can find evil in anything. This Fiji water I'm drinking right here, I always joke it's the water of heaven's choice, whatever. But, like, do you not think that there's not evil people working at Fiji water somewhere along the way? There could have been a Satanist that bottled this water and said, and prayed over it and said, I hope whoever drinks this water has a horrible life. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that. Like, I think that's what we really have to understand and have a concept of Christians is that we encounter evil on the daily. It doesn't have to be in Target. It doesn't have to be at the Jeep dealership.
Right.
It doesn't have to be. Like, we encounter evil on the daily. It's whether we choose to partake in the evil. Or whether we choose to partake in the sin. And I hate to tell people this, but just because I go into Target doesn't mean I support the sin.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was trying to, I was about to get at. I was like, you can still go to Target. Doesn't mean you have to buy the pronoun shirt.
Yeah.
You can go to Starbucks. Doesn't mean you have to go get an abortion. Like,
right. I mean,
just because you're giving giving your money to these, companies, these corporations and stuff like that, doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that you support what they're doing as much as, it's just you, living your life necessarily. Like, I needed to go to Target to get a new movie, or I had to go to Target to get some groceries, or I had to go to Starbucks to get some coffee because I'm about to pass out. I've been working 13-hour shifts. Like, these things that, but because, Christians are bad also about making us feel guilty for doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not a real you're a Christian. You drive a Jeep. Did you see what they changed their logo to?
I know.
Or, I'm hounding on Jeep tonight. They're never gonna like us. But but again, just these things, like, oh, did you see Cheryl? I saw her drive into Target the other day. I was going to Walmart.
Yeah,
I saw her drive in there.
Yeah.
She needs some prayer. Put her on the list.
And she's still doing those Target pickup orders, and here they are. They've done come out and they're supporting this, and they're doing this, and they've got this going on. And I mean, I'll just be 1,000% honest with you. I've never bought that much from Target to begin with.
You're not a white woman.
Well, this is true, and it's not pumpkin spice season or whatever it is, fall season, I guess. But anyways, like, I guess at the end of the day, I look at it and I'm sitting here going, my goodness gracious, like I wish Christians were as passionate about coming to church, serving Jesus, loving on people, growing the church, being in the community, doing work. I wish that people were as passionate about that as what they were boycotting Target.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I was going back to earlier. I was like, we're more vocal about what we're against than what we're for. We're more vocal about what we're not going to do versus what we are or should be doing.
Right.
It's just crazy. And then that's my other thing is, who is the boycott for?
Well,
that's something that I'm like, who are you doing those for? Are you doing it for you? Are you doing it for?
Are you doing it to be
seen?
Are you doing it to be seen? Are you doing it to jump on a bandwagon?
When someone makes a post like, oh, "I'm never shopping at Target again," do they think God's up there like, "That's my boy"?
That's my boy.
Do they really expect that, or is God just being like, God, I wish they just pray. Like, I wish they go to church just once.
Yeah,
right. Go to church.
Right. Well, that's the thing. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're like, I think we, man, I've said this time and time again. We get so caught up in doing God's job that we forget to do God's work. And it's God's job to sort all of this stuff out. Like here, let me read this scripture really quick because I don't want to get punched in the mouth for being a Christian podcast and not revealing scripture.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I know, right? So it says, listen to what Paul says in 1 Corinthians 4. It says, "Now it is required that those who have been given a trust must prove faithful." Let me go back and read verse 1 because it's got to make sense. "This then is how you ought to regard us, all right, as servants of Christ and as those entrusted with the mysteries God has revealed." So Paul is basically saying we are servants of Christ, but we have been entrusted to preach the mysteries of which God has revealed to us, okay? So verse 2, "It is required that those who have been given a trust must prove faithful." So he's saying we have this responsibility to be faithful to that which God has called us to do, which is preach the gospel. Verse 3, "I care very little if I am judged by you or by any human court. Indeed, I do not even judge myself." Verse 4, "My conscience is clear, but that does not make me innocent. It is the Lord who judges me." All right, it's the Lord. Remember that. It is the Lord who judges me. This is Paul talking now. Number 5. This is verse 5. So watch this. "Therefore, judge nothing before the appointed time. Wait until the Lord comes." So at this moment, Paul is writing in 1 Corinthians to the Corinthian church. He's saying, don't judge anything before the appointed time. Wait until the Lord comes. Because I think Paul's writing and saying he knows as human beings we are flawed, ladies and gentlemen. That those who are going to carry the promises of God, to preach the promises of God, are going to be held to a higher standard, so therefore we must prove faithful. But he's also saying right here in verse 5, wait until the Lord comes because the Lord knows best. Because listen to the next sentence. He will bring to light what is hidden in darkness. He will bring to light what is hidden in darkness and will expose the motives of the heart. At that time, each will receive their praise from God. So watch this. So what that's breaking it down to me is, Nick, is that why should I have to go on Facebook and say that I'm boycotting Target because of everything they've done wrong, when in due time it says he will bring to light what is hidden in darkness and will expose the motives of the heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I didn't know if you fell asleep on me over there or not, man. Like, at the end of the day, we have to be, like I was talking about in service tonight, we have to be able to trust and have faith in a God that we can't see. That is the essence of what faith is.
Don't let, that's what I'm saying, don't let a Target trip you up from your faith.
Right.
Like, don't let that person, who still orders iced vanilla latte, from Starbucks, mess up your walk with Christ. Well, and that's my biggest thing is, I'm sitting here and envisioning, and not to say that this ain't going to happen, I don't know. But I'm just sitting here envisioning, a judgment day and God's looking at you and, He's like, I saw you bypass that person who needed food the other day. I saw you, not help out that widow who needed some extra change to help pay her car payment.
Right.
I saw you, do this, or I saw you not do that, or I saw you not do this. And at the end of the list, that guy's just sitting there waiting. What I didn't shop at Target.
Didn't you see that I boycotted Target though?
I didn't shop at Target. Do I not get an extra layer of my mansion? And I mean that's just it's
jacuzzi,
right? Yeah, where's my jacuzzi for not shopping at Target? I sacrifice everything on earth for not going to Target.
Right.
And you're telling me I don't get any kind of reward for that?
Yeah.
And I can it's just one of those things that to me, as I look at it that way, it just seems so silly.
Yeah.
We put so much weight on not supporting this company, that company. Now, again, we have everybody is entitled to their, convictions.
Right.
If you really do feel truly convicted not to shop at Target, don't shop at Target. I'm not telling you to go against your convictions because that's God speaking to you saying don't do that.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, don't make it about that. Don't make it about boycotting it.
Well,
make
like
it about
I said,
listening to God.
Just be consistent across the whole board. If you're going to boycott something because that is what you firmly believe in, then make sure that you put those same convictions on the rest of your life, on every area of your life. That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? If I was to stand up tonight and say, I'm not going to shop here and I'm not going to do this anymore, I best be able to take a look back, just take a step back and look in the mirror and go, okay, I'm not shopping there because they're doing this. But I also need to step back and look in the mirror and go, well, what am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where I think that's where we struggle and we get it wrong so many times, is because we're willing to point to somebody else and say, you suck, you fail, I don't agree with you, get out of here, whatever. But yet we don't take that same mentality with ourselves. You know what I mean? We don't do that inner searching, that inner working of saying, God, clear me. Clear me. God, help me. God, help me with trying to live a better life. With trying to be, not trying to struggle with sin so much. Help me do that.
That's what I'm saying? I was trying to talk to the youth about tonight, about I was talking about not judging a book by its cover, coming from 1 Samuel, I believe 16:7.
God knows the heart.
Right? I know. And it's like God doesn't judge on the outward. He's not going to look at you and judge, oh, you didn't support Target, or you did,
Right.
He's not looking at your outward actions as much as he's looking at your heart.
Right.
I got in trouble for saying N-words because the kids misunderstood me. But, he's not looking at the outward behaviors as much as he's looking at where your heart is, what your position of your heart is.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we get so caught up is, God's watching. I can't shop there. I got to make sure everybody knows that I can't do this. I can't support that. I can't go there. I can't go this. I can't go there. Whatever it may be, But at the same point in time, you're saying all that. Your heart is hateful and hurtful and judgmental and cruel and it. But you're like, well, at least I don't support them.
Yeah,
but
right.
I hate everybody else.
Well, it's and that's what I don't know, man. Like I said, I just look at the situation we've got going on today, and it's like, and I get it. I think people who want that voice or whatever the case is, I think a lot of times if you flip it on TV, it's on social media, it's on the news stations, it's everywhere. And it's like, if we truly, I've always told people, if you truly don't want to see it, just don't flip on the TV. Or don't get on this iPhone that probably has something evil. Somebody's evil working for iPhone, whatever. That $1,200 iPhone that you paid for. Don't get on the internet. Don't. It's pretty simple. Go out and
live like John the Baptist in the wilderness.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. I think this is where we really, really, really struggle the most is we control what we see.
What?
Yeah, right?
I didn't know that.
We control what we hear. We control that. So I control if I go to Target or not. Here's the thing. Now, if I don't want to go to Target no more, I just won't go. I don't have to tell everybody on Facebook. I don't have to wear Target suck shirts or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to make videos about
Walmart
it.
pride.
Yeah, right. I support the Waltons. But good wholesome family from Arkansas.
Sam's clubbing it up.
Yeah, right. But I don't have to go tell everybody about that kind of stuff. I can quietly and calmly choose not to support by just not showing up. I was going to say, you don't get on. Do you get on Facebook and be like, I ain't going to church today. I don't feel like going to church today. I ain't doing it. I'm staying at the house. That's what I believe in today. If you don't like it, you don't do that, do you?
We won't post about it on Facebook, but we'll drive 40 minutes out to say something about it.
But that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, I want us to get that. I want us to understand that like, if we don't support something, we can just quietly choose not to support it.
I don't need to know what you like. That's my biggest thing. Is like I almost shouldn't need to know what you support and what you don't support. It's like from a business or a political standpoint. What I should be able to look at you and be able to know is that you're a Christian.
Here's the thing. I think that by people coming forward and saying what they support and what they don't support, it gives us an easy out. We don't have to use discernment then. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to use discernment. We don't have to figure that person out then. I just know what you stand for. I don't like you. You don't agree with me. We'll never be able to work together. See you later. You know what I'm saying?
Peace.
Yeah, peace. Yeah, deuces, I'm out. But what if God wanted to form a connection somehow, some way through that situation? God does some crazy stuff, people. I want y'all to get that tonight. God does some crazy stuff with some crazy people at some crazy times. And so for us to be able to write off, here's the thing about, man, I'm going to go deep on you. What if God wanted to use a Christian to walk into Target to have a conversation with somebody to help save their soul?
Wait for this right here. Target needs Christians too.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Right.
See, that's the thing about it. Like that's where you don't even have to spend money there. Maybe Target is your mission field now. Maybe you just walk around, and you go. Maybe you just walk around and just show people the love of Christ while you're in there.
How about this? Let me buy your stuff for you today.
Oh my God, at Target, but then you're supporting the sin, right? If you buy stuff there,
but you're also doing something good. So I don't know.
Does
the bad negate the good, or the good negate the bad? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a Jesus question, man.
I'll call him later.
I'm just Pastor Keenan. I try to do things halfway decent. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that if we're not careful, we get on this emotional train of I'm boycotting, I'm doing this, and it's like, well, you better be careful. You better be careful because people, ladies and gentlemen, are watching and they're going, well, you're boycotting Target, but you're cheating on your wife right now, or you're cheating on your husband right now, but you're boycotting Target. You ain't been to church in 6 weeks, but you're boycotting Target? I just watched you cuss out that poor girl at McDonald's because she got your order wrong, but you're boycotting Target? That's the thing about it, where I feel like that we have
hypocritical.
Hypocritical in general, and that's what creates, to me, that's what creates the hypocrisy atmosphere when it comes to church. Is that we'll stand up and yell about Target, but yet we're slapping people behind closed doors, or we're having affairs behind closed doors, or we're struggling with stuff behind closed doors, and it's like, we're not talking about that, but we'll get in on the Target movement, or again, whatever it might be, the Nike movement, or whoever. It's like people, we get in on that, but yet we struggle so much with stuff, And going back to the scripture, Paul is saying, look, I care very little if I'm judged by you or by any human court. Well, first off, if that is a mentality for Paul, let's think about this. That was the mentality that Paul had. So obviously somebody somewhere is under that same mentality. I don't care if you judge me. I don't care if I'm judged by any human court. I don't even judge myself. My conscience is clear. It's the Lord who judges me. And so therefore, and that's another thing where I think sometimes we can be collectively caught up in what other people think so much that we throw away and we abandon who God has called us to be in order to go with the bandwagon of being seen and thought of by other people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think we get so caught up in being, or I guess fitting in, being popular, being being seen, being heard, because we've talked about this several times, is that as human beings, one of the biggest things we crave is to feel and be heard.
Yeah.
And what better way to be heard than to join in on the bandwagon where everybody else is going to agree with me.
Right.
I'm going to post something, and then I know I'm going to get a couple likes, couple little heart reactions, couple little things like that.
Nothing that makes me feel better than those heart reactions.
I know, right?
Man.
Someone actually cares. That's another thing. A little small thing here. Stop hitting the like button. Hit a heart. Hit a care. Like, it's not that hard. Hit a cry button if you want to. I don't care. But again,
show some emotion.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just that thing. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. And the best way to do that is to jump on a bandwagon where everybody's talking about it already. Everybody has an opinion about it already. And we know that hey, if I post this, I know I'm going to get some reactions out of it.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to join in and say, yeah, you're right, or somebody might say, oh, you're wrong, and then we'll delete that comment and pretend that person doesn't exist for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's what the block button's for. But again, the unfollow button, whatever you want to call it. But it's just we have the ability to curate our lives. You were kind of talking about this earlier. We can choose what we like.
We can filter.
Choose. Yeah, we
can filter.
I mean, how many times have you gone? Like, I do this myself. I'll go through my Facebook memories and delete stuff because I'm like, God knows that ain't who I am anymore.
Well, here's the funny part about that. You say that. But like, I'm so guilty of this. I'll be scrolling through Facebook and I'll see somebody post something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just totally, I'm like, why would you even say that? Why would you even do that?
Type amen and share and you'll go to heaven.
Whatever. Yeah. Something like that. And I'm like, I have the ability and the authority to hit the unfollow button and I don't do it.
Right.
It's
kind of like up to me at that point.
Yeah, I don't do it and I just complain. I'm like, oh, they're stupid.
Yeah. Do I just enjoy feeling better than that person?
Exactly. And I'm like, why don't I hit the unfollow button? Whatever the case is. But I want you to, if you can, argue with me on this point. But it says, therefore judge nothing before the appointed time, wait until the Lord comes. Argue with me.
Which point? Which side do you want to take?
I want you to take the argumentative side and say, well, I know the Bible says don't judge nothing before the appointed time, but you know what? I'm supposed to be calling out sin. I'm supposed to be doing all this stuff.
Exactly. I mean, I think a lot of Christians have that mentality of hey, I'm supposed to be calling out sin. If this company is saying this, then if I don't take a stand, then I'm going to hell for it. God's going to hold me accountable for not boycotting companies that publicly take a stance that is against the Bible.
Okay.
If a company is going to make a stance and say, we support this, and the Bible says you cannot support this or you're going to hell, and if I still continue to support that, then that means I'm going to hell for it.
Yeah.
And so I can't do that, and I have to make sure that everybody on my friends list knows, if you support this, then you might as well just sign your ticket straight to hell. You're on the highway to hell, baby. And so, I think it's just very, there you go. I know we should have got a soundbite for that. And so it's just to me, how are you gonna, not to me, but to me, how are you gonna support something? And if the Bible clearly says that, we are supposed to listen to the Bible, obey what the Lord says, and if we are supporting something who goes against something in the Bible, then how are we any better than the demons in hell?
Right. I talked about that on Sunday. It's like, we talk about obedience is better than sacrifice, but we don't talk about the same, that disobedience is the same as witchcraft. And, that if I'm disobedient to God, well, then I might as well just be dancing with the devils, And then I made the statement that, well, at least witches are disobeying out in public, Yeah, because Christians do not, we do opposite. We put our collars on and we part our hair to the side and we put on our nice apparel and we act like we Christians, but we truly disobeying God a lot in private whenever he's trying to have conversations with us and tell us, what we need to be doing, and we're disobeying. We just do it in private, But anyways, with that point I was trying to make in verse 5 right there, judge nothing before the appointed time, wait until the Lord comes, is the fact of that we truly don't know people. Mm-hmm. I've said this before. I don't care if you've been married for 40 years or 4 months. You don't know them. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing: you think you do, and watch this. You know their motives. You think their actions. You know their mindsets. You know their routine. But here's the thing: the heart, ladies and gentlemen, can change. I've said this tonight. If we are led by feelings, we're led by the wrong thing. Because people make decisions out of feelings, not out of faith most of the time. I mean, if we're true about this, we make decisions out of feelings.
100%.
I feel like I should be doing. I feel like I don't need to be here. I feel like, and we are caught up in the rush of a feeling, and we make a rash decision. Okay, and the Bible is saying right here, don't judge nothing until the time of the Lord, because God knows everything. Like what you was talking about tonight, he judges upon the inward. He judges upon the heart. And it says he will bring to light what is hidden in darkness and will expose the motives of the heart. So at the right time, when the Lord shows up, he'll expose what needs to be exposed.
God is going to walk up to you and be like, you just posted that for attention.
Yeah, like
you just wanted people to like it and talk to you and follow you and argue with you and comment for you. That's the only reason you did that. You didn't do it because I don't support it.
It brought glory, yeah, because it brought glory to me. You done it because it brought attention to you. Woo, that's a big one. You know, oh man, I feel like that's a good Facebook post. You know, are you doing it for the glory of God or for the attention of you? Oh my God, that is a big one. Anyways, but yeah, so I mean, that's like if the Bible is saying, wait. Don't judge nothing before the appointed time. Don't judge nothing. Because and man, I mean, again, this is opinion. This is not Bible per se, but I've said this time and time again. There's going to be people in heaven that you thought, and I think you've said this, that you didn't think was going to be there. And then there's people that are in heaven that you, or wait a minute, there's people that you thought was going to go to heaven that are not going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know,
but at all the funerals worldwide, they're flying high with Jesus.
Oh, absolutely. Fly high, rest easy, rest in peace, blah, blah, blah. Tell everybody I love them up there, whatever the case is. And it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it comes down to, did you have a relationship with Jesus? Did you ask Jesus to come into your heart, to live as your Lord and Savior, and you relented your life to Him? That's the bottom line. And I think truly, if we go back and look at this scripture, it says he will bring to light what?
There's a lot of something. Keep going.
No, I was like, he will bring to light. I was like, I thought you seeing stuff behind me or something. I'm like, man, what do I need to do? He will bring to light what is hidden in darkness and will expose the motives of the heart. At that time, each will receive their praise from God. So here's the thing about it: are we looking for hand claps and attention of people, or are we looking for praise from God?
All right, check this out.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say God laid this on me, but it may not have been. but
oh God!
All right. It says, "Are you?" Or I'm going to say it says, but I just got this in my head. It said, "Are you an I voted Christian or a devoted Christian?"
Okay.
Right. So
that's
it's just
like what we talked about Sunday. Are you a fan or are you a follower?
Are you a fan or a follower? Are you? Are you posting about God to get the likes and the follows, or are you saying what you're saying because you're a devoted Christian?
Yeah, are you living what you're preaching? Man?
Exactly. You know, you say, "Hey, I voted. I did my due diligence as a Christian by boycotting Target."
Absolutely.
Or are you actually doing your due diligence as a Christian and being a Christian?
Right.
You know, going out here praying for people, being a witness, being a light in the community. You know, again, we've talked about this before. Again, Target needs Christians, Starbucks needs Christians, Jeep needs Christians. I'll throw them back under the bus a second.
Jesus.
I know, right? But these major companies, these major corporations, if we are cutting them out, then we are telling God that there's nobody in there worth saving.
Well, I think it boils down to this. This is just my honest opinion, man. If we were to not go places because of sin, we wouldn't go anywhere.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't even go home tonight.
Can't even go to the garden.
You can't get no. That's what I'm saying. Like the most holy place up on earth, where God would come down and walk with Adam and Eve, got screwed up because of sin. You know what I'm saying? Because of sin. And so that's what I'm saying. If we're not going somewhere because a place is sinful, like stop going to Texas Roadhouse. Stop going to the place. Stop going to, how about this? Stop going to the gas station. You don't think that people that come and pump that gas into those tanks, that there aren't sinful people out there who might stand for something wrong, but yet you're standing at the gas tank pumping stuff in?
I mean, have you seen the people who work in a gas station?
Man, I tell you what, I pray for those people, man, because they got to put up with some people every day. They got to put up with people. But that's what I'm saying. Like if we're literally, if that's the stance that we're taking, we might as well at that point build a box, live in it, and never come out.
Exactly. And I think, again, as people listening to this, that's kind of the point that we're trying to get across here.
Yeah.
Is like,
let's bring this thing to a close. I'm ready to go home.
All right. I know it's late on a Wednesday. We're recording on a different day. So apologies to everybody listening. And it's like, what the heck happened to everybody?
Yeah.
But again, just to wrap it up, we just want it to be, that, you can say that, you're boycotting this, you're boycotting that, but if you're not all in, you're not all in.
That's it, man. Bottom line.
That's the bottom line of when it comes to, is you can, call yourself a Christian and boycott Target, but go to Starbucks. What's the difference?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah,
or if you're boycotting Target and then not showing up to serve in church for 8 weeks.
Exactly.
Exactly. Where are we at? You know what I'm saying?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
And for the people who are like, well, I don't need to go to church to serve Jesus. Like there's a thing called corporate worship, my man. There's a thing called we need to be in this thing together to be able to do this. There's strength in numbers. The Bible says that. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in His name, and that's just the thing. Like, if we're going to stay committed, then we need to be consistent.
Exactly.
Across the board.
If we're going to boycott Target, then we better not be, giving our relative the shaft when they need to borrow a couple bucks or borrow the extra vehicle for a week.
That's it, man. That's big.
We need to, and again, as we the whole point of this new, I guess, take that we're doing on the podcast is trying to bring these crazy things that to us just seem so outlandish and so crazy and so commonsensical, I guess, that we're just like, what are we doing?
What are we doing,
and taking that and saying, hey, this is, what we believe may be the better way to approach the situation.
Right.
If you're going to boycott something, boycott everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, if your convictions are there to boycott something specific, then do that. But, like, again, if you are driving past Target one day and God's like, go in there, and you're like, no, I ain't going in there, God. That can't be from God. That must be Satan telling me to go in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But God's like, there's somebody in there that you need to bless, and you're like, oh, sorry, I ain't doing that, God.
Yeah.
You just need to be careful about the stances that you're taking, and how public of a stance that you're taking, and being aware of how people are looking at you, and being aware of how you're looking at other people because of the decisions that they are making. And again, you can, in understanding that you can be against something, and you can be against whatever Target's trying to sell, whether it's pants with a pocket in the front that you can store stuff in, or if it's gay pride apparel, or if it's a gay pride logo, or if it's supporting human trafficking, or if it's supporting all these different things. Like, you cannot support those things and still go about your life the way that you need to go about your life. You can still be obedient to God. You can still go about your everyday Christian walk without having to make a post about what you support or what you don't support necessarily. It's just you can do a lot of things without making as big a deal of it as a lot of people like to make it.
There's a statement that I've always tried to live by, and it's the fact of that there's 2 things that you can't take back: words after they're said and actions after they're done. You can't. You can try to find correction in them. You can try to build a bridge and get over them. But those words, after they're out of your mouth, you cannot unsay them. Those actions, you cannot undo them. Like, it is what it is at that point.
You can go back and try and delete them. But people have already seen them
and screenshotted them and sent them to everywhere and all that good stuff. So it's like, once it's out there at that moment in time. And so, as we close it down tonight, my advice would be, like just step back. Just step back and take a look at the situation before you go posting, before you go commenting, before you go boycotting, before you go, things like that. Like, and again, if that is your conviction, fantastic. But I urge you, if that is your conviction, to spread that conviction across all areas of your life, and live that way across all areas of your life. So,
and I want to make it clear, that, all right, that, we as, Christians, we as Fruition Church, church leader, whatever you want to call it, like, we are not saying that, hey, you should go support Satanism, or like, you won't see us up on stage wearing they, them t-shirts or anything like that. Yeah. Like, we're not saying that, what these companies are doing is right. Human trafficking isn't necessarily right by anybody's standards.
No, absolutely not.
And these things that these major companies and corporations are doing that people are boycotting, it's not that people are boycotting them for the wrong reasons all the time. I think sometimes they are. I think they're boycotting them just for the attention that it serves them. But I think, there are some people out there that do truly have convictions where they don't want to support this, they don't want to support that.
Right.
I remember back a while ago, it was Wayfair. Wayfair was having an issue where they thought that the things that you were buying on Wayfair was actually a human being that was being trafficked.
Oh wow!
Like, there was a whole situation around that because of the way things were named and the prices that were just crazy and like all this kind of stuff, and people stopped buying from Wayfair. And I get people not wanting to support things. I totally understand that mindset of, I probably shouldn't. I mean, I even argued the point with you a second ago. Like, if the Bible's against this, I probably shouldn't support somebody who is for it.
Right.
Again, I understand that point. I understand that, but understanding that, sometimes we can, make such a big deal out of it, and we can boycott ourselves out of obedience of God.
Right.
And I think we just need to make sure, like you said, taking a step back, and analyzing the situation before you just jump on any bandwagon, no matter what it is. Take a step back, analyze the situation, ask yourself some questions, pray about it. Number one, that should be the number one thing you do. Before you make a post on Facebook about who you're boycotting, pray about it first. See where God's going to lead you in that situation. And, just make a wiser decision about it. Ask God for wisdom, ask for guidance, ask for clarity, figure out what you should do in that situation. If God says don't go to Target, don't go to Target.
Right.
If God says, you don't go to Target, but you can still get your latte from Starbucks, whatever.
Right.
But, again, just understanding that don't boycott just for the sake of boycotting. Don't just jump on bandwagons. Don't just try to make a big ordeal or big spectacle out of everything that you try to do just for the sake of making a spectacle. Just be true to yourself, be authentic to who Christ has called you to be.
Yeah.
And in all aspects, in all areas of your life, don't just pick and choose, just follow Christ and do what he has called you to do. Because again, as your Bible verse said, he's going to come and he's going to judge your heart.
Right.
He's going to judge your intentions. He's going to judge what, you individually decided to do as far as listening to him went. And so, that's the important part. And at the end of the day is, I really don't know, and I mean, this is me talking opinion, but I really don't know that God is going to tell you to make a TikTok slamming Target.
Right.
I really don't know if he's going to do that. Maybe if you're a major Christian platform, but again, you're just going to make people mad because, again, people know what Christians are for and what they're against.
Right.
So, I don't know if God's going to tell you to do something like that. I'm not God. I can't tell you that for sure. But, it's just one of those things that, again, take a step back, analyze the situation, think about it, pray about it. All that good stuff.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So we love you guys. Thank you guys for listening, for tuning in, for hanging on, and all that good jazz. And for
almost 3,000 downloads.
Ooh, almost 3,000 downloads. That sounds fantastic, man. Thank you guys so much for that. Be blessed. We love you. Have a wonderful week. We'll be back again next week. So till then, we love you. Be blessed.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Thank you to everyone for listening to the People Suck But Love 'Em Anyways podcast. As always, you can check us out on Facebook at Fruition Church, YouTube at Fruition Church of Hodgenville, and check out our website at www.fruitionchurchky.org. Remember, don't suck and love people.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.